Here we are live with this edition of School Police Talk. We have a great special guest. Please introduce yourself and tell us what you do for the Clark County School District, please.
Okay, well, I'm Tanya Jones, and I'm a Clark County School District Police Department social worker. And basically, we help with mental health, and we help our students and our staff with mental health resources and lowering down the violence in Las Vegas.
And so one of the things that I want to start off with is this. Normally, we think of a police department as a police department not having social workers. And so we know, because the chief has come on here and has really made it his directive, that we need to bridge the gap between people and the police. And so one of the ways that we're able to do that is by having you and the others that you work with really form that, right?
That is correct. That's correct. And so a lot what we do regarding mental health and helping the students, the officers actually call us out to the schools, and then we help with the mental health issues and whatever else is going on. It could be homelessness, it could be domestic violence, different type of issues like that. And then we actually coordinate with the community to so the students can receive the supports that they need in order for them to survive and essentially graduate from high school.
And so let's talk about a few of those points, okay? When we talk about mental health, it's not 25 years ago before the internet where somebody was upset with somebody and maybe they, settled their differences out on the baseball field or something like this, and then 10 minutes later they were slapping hands and everything was great. There's a lot of things in today's world that students and or parents need to be aware of because there's a lot of challenges. Let's talk about some of those challenges.
Well, there's challenges with the students regarding relationship challenges with their peers. They also have, worried about their grades, their performance. They also have bullying situations, getting along with others, and also home issues as well. What the students are, sometimes they have a difficult time relating to. That brings up other concerns, that they become depressed and they start having other issues, and that's when we come along to help with those coping skills and getting them other resources that we can help them.
And so the goal is that everyone graduates. The goal is that everyone's happy, that everyone's smiling every day, and all of these things. And we know that that is challenging because not every day is happy. And so when we talk about homelessness, we talk about needing a place to stay, there's a lot of children and or young adults that don't have a place to stay at night. Let's talk about that.
Well, with that, we coordinate with our Title I services. We also, through Clark County School District, and then we also coordinate with our other community agencies, the Nevada Partnership for Homeless Youth. So we coordinate with all the other resources out in the community. So, for instance, if we have a student that's, sleeping on the streets, one, we're going to see where their parents are, what's going on in the home. We're trying to get to the root cause of the situation to help the student. And then we want to coordinate getting them a safe place, contacting the other authorities like Child Protective Services and things like that, but basically trying to get them safe. So they not only, because like you just said, we want to see them smiling, but, in reality, we actually want them to build up those skills that they become resilient, right? So then they know when they hit situations, they're just not falling down and staying down, they're getting back up. So we want to teach them those skills, but immediately we try to get them support so they're living a healthy life, so they're safe. And so they can be in school, so then therefore they can graduate. But beyond graduation, we want them to survive, and we want them to have those skills. So then when they get our age, they know how to get through situations. And when problems arise, they're just not knocked down, and they don't stay down. They build up a resiliency so they can get back up.
And life skills. some people learn at home, and some people that don't have a great home life have to find other resources. And so sometimes when it comes to the home life, you know, it can be a variety of different things that make home life bad. You know, and so when we talk about the home life, how does being a social worker help with that?
Okay, so as a social worker in police services, we coordinate with our mental health staff on campuses. So a lot of times they do parenting classes with the parents, but a lot of that is just finding the root cause and then providing resources to them and giving them ways on how to teach their children, and then in turn, and how to get through life for themselves as well.
And so the Clark County School District they have a great website. And so you go to ccsd.net, then you go to parents, then you go to additional info, then you go to the resources page, and then videos.
Yes.
It seems like a lot, but it's actually not once you get on the website, right?
Right. A couple years ago, when I first started in CCSD PD, so prior to coming over to Clark County School District Police Department, we were all on campus, the social workers on campus, and so we weren't able to see everything that was going on across Las Vegas. So we receive alerts on our phone whenever a child has a wellness visit from local law enforcement. And so I was taken back by the number of suicide ideations and suicide attempts that students were having out in the community. And so one of the things that we did, we started calling every parent to see what resources they needed, what was going on. And when we got up to about 258 parents, we found out that the resources that Clark County School District provides, they weren't aware of that. They weren't aware of the different resources that are free to them and that they can have for their students, and also the signs of suicide. A lot of the parents, and still today, and it happens, that surprised regarding when there's an actual suicide. That's another thing that we did. So the first thing we did was started calling the parents and seeing what resources that they needed. But the second thing we did was calling over to Nevada Suicide Prevention here in Clark County, and we found out we were 12th, Nevada 12th in the nation a couple of years ago, 12th in the nation for actual suicides. And so, however, with all the resources, the mental health facilities, you know, the schools and the mental health professionals and so forth, and people like yourself getting the word out about mental health preventions, it has lowered down. So last year, the suicide rate did lower down for our students. So we're very proud of that, being a part of that. So basically, we went into action, and CCSD PD social workers went into action, and we did a video, which this QR code goes to the video, and it's about 2 minutes and 47 seconds, and it talks about all those resources, and it talks about the signs of suicide.
And so people are not aware of the free resources that you offer.
Yes.
Right? That's very important, because when it becomes that you are a parent and you might not be aware of exactly how children are doing things in today's world, you need all the tools that you can. And so by providing these tools, it's not only fantastic, but it shows the dedication, because you're willing, and the team, to go out and find these resources that are really going to make a difference.
Yes.
Suicide amongst teens is something that is not really talked about. And so what we need to do is bring it to the forefront.
Yes.
So that we can prevent and before any of these tragedies happen, right?
Yes, that's right. Yeah, talking about it, knowing the signs of suicide. So if you see other people going through that, so other people, for instance, it's like if you see a neighbor going through something, it's like talking to them. So one of the things that we do promote is the 988 number. And so the 988 number can be called by any phone. And that's and I really appreciate you having us on today, right before the holidays. So because a lot of times, you know, suicide comes up because,
Sure.
and people think about suicide because of depression and so forth, you know, around the holidays. And the 988 number, they can call and speak to someone, and if they're having those thoughts of suicide.
Look right in that camera and tell everybody to call dial 988 if you
Dial 988 if you're having thoughts of suicide.
So it's very important because not only it's amongst the whole year, but normally among getting ready for the holidays, you know, there is a lot of talking and a lot of things that are in our mind of people maybe that are not here anymore and the feeling of aloneness. And so when a child or a parent is feeling alone, they can reach out to you. They can say, look, I don't know what to do and I need a little bit of help. And you know, that's something that you're able to talk with the parents and with the children, which is fantastic. And again, it's one of the things that when it comes to the Clark County School District, the police department, right?
Yes.
That they're willing to step out and do things that others aren't doing because they really care, all the way down from the leadership.
Yes. Yes.
And so what is in the video? Talk to us about the video. When we go to this page, what is on the video of 2 minutes and 47 seconds?
Okay. So the video has some of our resources that Clark County School District pays for. Hazel Health is one. It also talks about Mobile Crisis Response Team. It talks about another resource we have, Care Solace. But it also has students on there talking about the signs of suicide. You know, talking about, you know, when you see something, say something, you know, call over to Safe Voice, you know, so, you know, our officers can go over and do a wellness check, you know, to help the student out. It also talks about, you know, when a person gets into a depressive mode, you know, some of the things that they're thinking about, you know, giving away their items, you know, feeling depressed, trying to hurt themselves, different things like that. So that's what it details. So a lot of times people are not aware of that, and that video talks about that.
Yeah, there's a lot of great resources. Talk to me about the Care Solace. What is that?
So that's one resource that Clark County School District pays for, and it's an outside company that actually parents can call in and they can receive through their insurance. They can receive counseling resources. So they'll actually set up the appointment for them, for their student to receive to start up counseling with the resources out in the community.
And I know the last time that the social workers were on School Police Talk, we talked about the Safe Voice. And I know when we left, it was one of the things that we sort of touched on, but we really didn't go into depth. So explain to me about Safe Voice and who can call Safe Voice and things of that nature.
Anybody and everybody can call Safe Voice. And so basically what happens is it's anonymous. And so it comes through, it matters on the level of, you know, what they're reporting. If it goes over to Metro, and I looked over at one of our officers that's over here.
We're trying to get them all on here. Look, you got more of a crowd here now. You know what I'm saying? Just tell them all, just anybody who wants to come on, right? Just wave your hand. You know what I'm saying? Maybe we'll do that. Yeah.
Yes. And so Safe Voice, so it matters on the level, you know, of the situation. But it goes over to our local law enforcement, and it goes over to our CCSD PD dispatch, and so local law enforcement. For instance, if one child calls in and states that, you know, they're having suicide, you know, thoughts of suicide, and then we send officers out to the home, and our dispatchers send officers out to the home so they can receive assistance. So it's see something, say something. So it goes to different entities. And basically, it's how, like for instance, if someone sees a gun, if someone sees something on campus, if it's mental health, whatever it is, that's what Safe Voice is. See something, say something.
And it's very important because, you know, the thing is that, you know, we always see all these programs about the snitching and the this and all that. But, you know, listen, at the end of the day, a child and or young adult is going to the school because they're going there for an education.
That's right.
And so, you know, there's a level of protection for the teachers and, you know, substitute teachers and the people that work there that are not teachers, that these type of resources are very, very important. Because it's not just for the protection of just you, it's for the protection of everyone.
That's right. That's right.
And so it's very, very important. Now, what I wanted to ask you was this. When it comes to crisis intervention and things like this, it's very difficult because sometimes you have to be put into a difficult situation. And so how do you deal with that? And wouldn't matter if you're a woman or a man, but I spoke to the lieutenant before the last time we had a technical difficulty, remember? And we talked about, women, right? And the fact that they're in the workplace doing these jobs that are really tremendous. Talk to us about that.
Well, it really comes down to self-care. It really comes down to knowing how much you can take yourself, and because you're always on the go, and when you're in crisis jobs like this, and our officers are going out, you never know what type of situation you're going to run into, and so you're heightened, And so, after the situation, making sure that you're debriefing afterwards. So that's things that we do, debrief afterwards, talk about it. That when you get home, you get that massage, you relax back. So you must do those things in order to survive, in order to be able to have that self-care when you're going through crisis situations constantly.
And so this segment is going to air before Thanksgiving.
Okay, great.
And so talk to us about the fact that students are now off for the holiday interval right now.
Yes.
Right? And so now is not the time to go and do bad things, right? And so when a student is home now, are these resources still available to them? Even though the school is not in session for parents as well?
Yes, so for the counseling services through Hazel Health, it's still available. If they were having suicide ideations, they can call 988 number. There's another resource on here, Mobile Crisis Response Team. Mobile Crisis Response Team, which is a community agency, and that's still available. That's actually open 24 hours. We actually have one other on here. It's called the Employee Assistance Program. That's for staff. That's for teachers and staff and admin that can call as well during the holidays. But one thing that I would like to tell parents is to spend time with their student. And I think a lot of times newer parents, they treat their children like they're adults, and they're not. And they're still children, and they don't know a lot about the world. Spending time with them, spending quality time during the holidays with their children.
And so it's very important because being a parent is a lifelong decision. And so one of the things that's very important is that the children and then becoming young adults, and I come back to the fact of that they need to be learning these life skills. And so it's very important. And so everybody needs a little bit of help every once in a while.
They do.
And so it's very important that we stick together. And so the leadership of the Clark County School District Police knows how important the job that you do is. And so if somebody wants the bracelets, and I see you have what do you have, a lanyard there?
Yes, we have the You Are Loved lanyards. So we actually go to school, and we actually provide this swag gear, we call it, with candy and so forth, and do different activities, and we give out this information. So the You Are Loved, so that's how they receive it.
And so if somebody wants to do that or wear that, they can, where can they go and get it?
Well, they can always call over to the Clark County School District Police Department.
Phone number, you know what I mean?
Okay.
Just give him the cell phone number, you know what I'm saying? I need a lanyard or something, right?
Yes. So they can always call over to the Clark County School District, our police department, and then we can work out some type of way so we can give them information or stop over there at their school.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is that it's very important to display and or share about the positive things that
Very
you're
important.
doing,
Yes.
and the entire staff is doing.
Yes.
And so let's talk about the people that you work with. Although
Yes.
they're all over there and they're not on, they won't come on the camera, and you're the brave soul that is. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
The people that you work with,
Yes.
You have to feel the love between you in order for you to be able to share with any of the students and or parents that you deal with. So
Yes.
talk to us about the working environment for you, and that type of thing.
Yes. Okay. So we have our officers, we have our social workers, and so we all work together on cases together. And so our officers, they call us on scene, and we all basically form a relationship together because we. So to step back a little bit,
Yeah,
it's
sure.
six social workers now.
Six
and
social workers.
Yes, total
Uh-huh.
for Clark County School District Police Department. And each one of us are set up in different areas. So we have 2 in each area. So we get to know our area, our area command, our, the sergeants, and then each one of us. So we have a partner, and my partner is over there,
Right.
another social worker hiding over there.
Right, hiding,
But
you know what I'm saying?
but we work closely together. And so we basically go on every call together. And for instance, if we're doing a suicide protocol, what at times we do, one person writes and the other person talks, and we coordinate things, and we call, one person's calling over to the agencies, finding the resources that we need for the students. So we all work together. And when we're working in crisis situations, that's what we do. We work together in order to get things done.
And it's really special, because with the amount of students that the school district has, and then adding to the parents on top of that, it's a very tenuous job. And so you do need a way to de-stress.
Yes.
And I know that the mental health of the officers is very, very important. And
Yes.
so when it comes to the employee assistance, it's not easy to be a social worker, and I know that it's not easy to be an officer. And so sometimes they have to deal with things. So to be able to anonymously just share is something that's very, very special.
Yes.
And so I love the fact of when it comes to the mental health, and for all the things that you're doing and accomplishing, right? Talk to us about some things that maybe that we missed so far.
Okay. Well, for staff at the schools,
Yes.
we have the Employee Assistance Program. And then within CCSDPD, we actually have a wellness program within CCSDPD. And so that, that consists of officers, social workers, and we basically help each other. And then so if an officer needs a resource like a counseling agency, we reach out. If someone passes, we reach out. So we all help each other. So within our wellness program.
And so unfortunately, there was just a passing in the Clark County School District Police, and someone who was very much loved and admired from the students, right, all the way up to the highest of the command staff.
Yes.
And so a lot of people reach out because this is a real tragedy, and so you deal with things of that nature as well.
We do. Talking amongst each other. So Marley, our canine, one of our canine dogs, passed away. So it's it's hard. And so with our social workers, we brought items over, to assist with our officers, that are in that unit, because it's hard, being with, people have our pets are our animals, and we love them. So it makes it difficult. But even with that, it's like if it gets too much, for one person, we provide them resources. But also, talking amongst each other, being a support for one another, for not only, it's like, the people that we work with, but also the families as well.
And so after Thanksgiving, then we have the the Christmas holiday and then
Yes.
the New Year and all that type of stuff.
Yes.
And so there's also a lot of joy, right? But there's a lot of sorrow
Loneliness.
for some people that don't have or have anyone to share with or to not get any gifts, you know what I mean? And all these type of things. So when it comes to the Christmas holiday season, the social workers are there. If someone is needing a little bit of extra help and things of that nature as well, right?
Yes, and so they can either call through, dispatch, and then we have on-call social workers that will go out to the home to help them. If there's, teachers that are in need of help, we do that as well. One thing that I would say is, there's lots of different volunteer places that people can go to so they don't feel, total alone. If they want to go to a church or so forth, they can do that as well so they don't feel as alone. But really, that self-care and also those coping skills of getting through situations, doing things that makes them happy.
Well, Lieutenant, thank you very much for joining us. Not all the time you can tell, like, please say, to a lieutenant, please just come over and sit down, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Thank you very much for being here. We talked on Friday before we had the technical difficulties,
Yes.
and there were so many things that we wanted to talk about. And so let's talk about what you were sharing with her before you came on the air. What was that?
Well, you guys were talking about the special relationship
Yes.
with the law enforcement and our social workers.
Yes.
And being with the department for 21 years, I've been able to take advantage of that program that we've had now for, 6, 7 years? How long have you guys been with us?
About 5 years, yes.
About 5 years now. It's a wonderful thing to be out and helping our kids in this way. We want to be able to do more for them than just issue a citation or arrest or anything like that. So when we show up to these calls for service and we're able to notice that they have needs outside of just their behavioral issues, and we're able to call our social workers, it is a relief because we're knowing we're giving them that wraparound care that that they deserve. A lot of the behavioral issues that we're dealing with are because families have those challenges that you were talking about in their home life, and we're able to get them hooked up with our social workers. So it is a tool and a resource that we are happy to have, and we're thrilled that we have 6 total now.
Yes.
6. When we first started, we only had 1. And we were calling her all over the valley, but since then they've grown, and not only are we able to call them out for our officers dealing with situations in the schools, we're also able to lean on them, as you guys referred to earlier, when we're dealing with certain things. So they are a tremendous support to our law enforcement daily activities.
And one of the things that we talked about on Friday when we were standing here, and it was really bad that it wasn't on camera because we had a great conversation, was one of the things that we touched on earlier today, which was being a woman, being in law enforcement, going out and doing a job and doing it to the absolute best that you can. And so this is something that is also you're very passionate about as well. Talk to us about that.
Yes, sir. Like I said, there are challenges being a woman in law enforcement. I've been very blessed to be able to do this job for 21 years. Been with the district my whole CCSD PD my whole entire career, and yeah, you can do this job just as our male counterparts. Sometimes we are underestimated at times, but yeah, we have having a more diverse police department allows you to reflect the community we serve. And there's a lot of women out there in the community, a lot of diversity in our community. And the more diverse we are able to meet, their needs, empathize a little bit more, have a little bit more understanding, de-escalation, just think outside of the box a little bit, and connect on a different level, more so than some of our counterparts. But yeah, those challenges are real. They are there, but they're not to deter you in any way. There's a support system. Again, working with our social workers, working with other agencies, networking. I'm hoping to restart our women's recruitment and mentorship program. It's called RAMP. That way, to help with some of those challenges young women interested in law enforcement might face when they first start. Also, to help women that are within the profession that they can go into other areas of the profession, and mentoring them till they can get there. Right now, I'm the only female supervisor within our department. I would like to see more formal leadership from our women within our department. We are up in our numbers. Since I first started, we actually have about 23, 25, somewhere around there, women that are with the department now. When I first started, we had less than 10. So we are growing. There are challenges within the profession, but nothing that you can't overcome with the support of your staff and the department and our counterparts as well. So.
Yeah. So if anybody wants to, that's a great recruiting thing. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? We'll get you on the green screen over there later. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We're just getting started here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
No, but it's very important. You know what I mean? Because the thing is that as children and young adults grow up, law enforcement is a tremendous career. If you start it when you at any age, but if you start it when you're young, by the time you get to the midlife, you've worked somewhere for a certain amount of time, and so there's a lot of wonderful things that come from the law enforcement, from the social worker side or the from the specific law enforcement side. And so with you having people that work underneath you, you have different types of challenges, just as working with different types of children and young adults and staff and things like this, that it's very important to overcome. And so this is one of the things that the Clark County School District Police provides, and that's what's so wonderful. And that's one of the things that I really get excited to showcase, because most of the time it's just an officer like yourself.
Yes.
And we don't have this other half that is able to help us, or that you're able to make a phone call to, or right? And,
Yes.
and these are the resources that the Clark County School District now provides, which is really a mentorship to all other departments.
Yes.
So it's very proud to be there, right?
Yes, it's really nice. Like I said, they're not limited in their responses. I mean, I've worked with them, students, with calling them out to assist families, our officers, some of our multi-jurisdictional incidents they've been out to assist with. They're truly a great resource for us around the clock, and especially during the holidays. And again, the services that they provide in helping us when some of our members have suffered a loss of their own, or are going through something of their own, their open door policy and how we can contact them. There are a plethora of ways we can contact them, whether we're emailing them, calling them on the radio, or just calling them on their cells. They're readily available, and the things that they can do, and the services that they've been willing to provide all this time is, like I said, it's been a blessing for the school district and the community as a whole.
They're warriors, right? So they're trained to think in their mind that they're warriors and that nothing is going to stop them. But at the end of the day, as much as we've always thought that, we never really divulged into the mental health of the officers. To know that sometimes, as even as tough as they are, they still need to talk, and they still need someone to just share things with. And so to be able to provide that, and be able to have that, like you, and your staff, right, is a tremendous resource.
Yeah, they're definitely warriors. They're gladiators out there in the field, helping Las Vegas and helping the students. And we all help each other, and we're all a support for each other. And so that's one great thing about being in CCSD PD, being a support, and being able to be able, like she said, pick up the phone and call the next person for help.
Yeah. And so one of the things that you do, so we talked about the Thanksgiving, right? So on the December 7th, Johnny's going to pop up the map right here, but you do the Filibus, right?
Yes.
And on the 14th, the Shop with the Cop. You know, these are wonderful things that the Clark County School District Police gives back. And you know, every year when we go, it's filled with officers. Like, you know, they're going there because they feel dedicated, because they want to show all of these children and the families at least one smile. Like, maybe all the other days are not the greatest because of whatever reason, but at least on this day, right?
Yes.
You know, and one of the things that's really important is all the gifts go to the kids.
Yes.
Right? It's not like the gifts are got and then they're sent off to some auction house, or you know what I mean?
Yes, fill the bus with toys and give them to our school's CCSD students.
Yes.
So yes.
So it's an actual bus.
A bus.
Yeah.
It's our actual bus, and basically we stand out front and we give the people that are walking in, the shoppers, pamphlets so they can go in and they grab toys and they give it to us on the way out, and we put it on the bus.
So what Brian is saying that, sorry, Lieutenant Zink, right? I keep trying to get him on too. Believe me, it's very difficult. I'm going to just grab him on. He's on a
drag
chair
him
with the
on.
wheels over here. I'm just going to wheel him over here. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, the thing is that when it comes to all law enforcement of all the different agencies, right? They're all there. And one of the best things is they're there for the kids, because these children are not going to be able to have all the gifts and stuff like this, and so this is one of the ways that they're able to give back, right?
Yes.
And the Shop with the Cop, right? And this is very cool. Tell us about that.
Yeah, Shop with the Cop will be on December 14th. That's another event where we partner with some local law enforcement agencies. We get together and we take these families and the students of these families shopping to get them some items that they, you know, again, some their wish list for Christmas and some most necessary items. And then we also have an opportunity for them to take pictures with Santa, and there's some cocoa and donuts and stuff for the officers. And a lot of the officers bring their family members with them to help take these students shopping.
Because a lot of the officers, their families are very humble. And the children of the officers save up their money sometimes to give, because they're going to get a gift or whatever, and some of these families are not, you know. And so I think one of the cool things with the Shop with the Cop is that, you know, they can get a set of headphones or whatever it is that they want, that they're going to actually use.
Barbie dolls.
Right. It's not like you're going to get something that you don't want, right?
Yes.
All right. So we have those two things which are really important. We really want to divulge into the fact of the mental health, because it you know, it is something that is very, very important, and it's something that we need to continuously talk about from an officer standpoint, right? From the bridging of the gap, and then from the fact of, you know, that all the people that work for the Clark County School District Police, you know, sometimes suffer losses. And sometimes in those losses, we need to discuss. And so what was that called, Brian? The picture that you sent me?
Oh, I sent you pictures from the You Are Loved events.
Yeah, from the You Are Loved events. The events that you put on really make a huge impact for the city, for the community, for the officers, you know, and for everybody. And so it's very, very important.
Yes.
What else would you like to talk about?
With that, you know, the things that goes on in campus, you know, our officers keeping our students safe, our staff safe, and, you know, the resources that we provide, like you just said, the city, you know, what happens on the campus, it, you know, goes out to the city, and so it reflects back. You know, that's why it's so important, you know, to for us to, you know, make sure that we're providing those resources to them, you know, to the students and the staff on campuses, and keeping them safe.
Lieutenant, what else?
I think Tanya said it perfectly.
Was it good that I got you on here? Huh? Yeah, you weren't
Absolutely,
expecting
yeah.
that. You know,
Not at
listen,
all.
Lieutenant, you have to tell them. Say, listen, next time you guys need to get on here too. We're gonna get them all on here. They're not gonna say anything.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
There are a few that haven't been on yet too. So.
Listen, we're gonna
Yes.
get them all on here.
Yeah.
Even if they don't say anything, we're gonna get them on here before.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
I'll sit there.
All right. Oh yeah, come on over.
The only last
Tell
thing
me.
that I would like to
would love to
say
hear it.
is during the holidays, if you're getting down, don't wait till you get too down and you feel like you can't come back up. Make sure that you are receiving the resources, calling out to your support system, calling 988 if you need to, reaching out to get help way before it gets to the point that you feel like you cannot go on, because we need you to survive.
Yeah, it's very important. You know what I mean? I appreciate you coming on. I appreciated
you.
you
Thank
coming
you.
on Friday, and then me dragging you on here and just saying, come on. But you did fantastic.
Thank you.
And it's very important. You know what I mean? Because we need to show everyone. And so there could be a young woman or a young adult that is looking at you right now and saying, that's what I want to be. Maybe my life wasn't good growing up and I want to make myself better, or maybe I would love to be in that profession. And so it's very important. And so, that's why I appreciate you, taking the time to come on and spend time with us. Okay?
Thank you.
Well,
Yep.
thank you for bringing us on so
Yes.
we can talk about
Was
these
that good?
issues. Yes, thank
All
you
right,
so
good.
much. Thank you.
So now we're going to turn towards this camera. Okay, not everybody that's working here because they're not coming on. And make sure you wave at everybody, okay? Say thank you. See you later.
Thank
Happy
you.
holidays.